Alright, what is good, ladies and gentlemen, is the Master Reviewer back again with another review, and today we are doing a review for Dr. Stone Science Future Part 1. Yeah, this is a rewatch for me, and I don't have any real context to give other than that, so let us just begin. Starting off with the plot. So as usual, this picks up where we left off in the last season, and Senku and the gang, they need to head to America to get corn in order to create a lot of revival fluid. In the last season, they needed platinum, and they successfully got platinum, but they now also need corn in order to make enough revival fluid in order to revive the amount of people that they need in order to ultimately get to their goal, which is to get to the moon in order to face Y-Man. And so that is their goal this season. And so the first few episodes of the season is kind of spent like on the ship with all the gang and stuff, and they're kind of like the first episode is Ryusui and Senku arguing over the best route to take to get to America, and yeah, and then the other first few episodes it's kind of just like getting back into the flow of things, I guess, and just getting to America itself. And then once they're actually at America, they encounter Stanley Snyder, and so Stanley goes in guns a-blazing basically, and they realize that they are in a fight with science users, specifically Dr. X, which they find out later on to be Dr. Zeno. He is Senku's old mentor, and they initially, they figure out, okay, this guy is using a machine gun against us, so we're going up against science users. And so the season basically is the Senku's Science Kingdom versus Zeno's Science Kingdom. Basically, that is the season in a nutshell. And yeah, honestly, there is a lot that happens in this season, so I'm not really going to go into all of the specifics, but you do have a bunch of different things going on with Gen infiltrating Zeno's kingdom, as well as Chrome and Kohaku. They're like the scouting team. There's like a warrior team composed of Tsukasa, Hyoga, and I think, who else was there? Ukio, I think he was also with them. They're one faction. There's also like the actual gang of Senku and the rest of the guys that are on the Perseus itself. And then there is Stanley. He's his own faction with like Max and Carlos. Those are some new characters that are involved. Luna is another new character. It's like a lot of characters, a lot of different stuff kind of going on, but all of it is a war between Senku's Science Kingdom versus Zeno's Science Kingdom. And so that is the plot, and I would say that it is a amazing plot. I would say 8.5. Yeah, I really think that it is just another really good season and plot for the season, where up until now it's like, at first you had Senku against a Kingdom of Might. Okay, that's like the first challenge that they faced. Then what is stronger than might? The actual petrification weapon itself that was the initial cause for everyone to get petrified. So I think that's like, okay, a good logical progression for the next thing that Senku has to face. And so throughout both of those cases, he used science in order to defeat his enemies. So then the final progression, I feel like, or the next final logical progression would be science itself. Like the next progression after might and petrification would be a science user. I think that is a good progression for a new threat for Senku to face, and it does make this feel very tense, where up until this point, it's like you had some pretty smart characters, but none of them to the level on Senku's level, basically. It's like we're actually having a threat that is on Senku's intelligence level, which I think makes the threat even greater. And not even just that, you also have Stanley Snyder. Well, we'll use this transition to the characters. Zeno, I think, is a great character, great antagonist, and definitely he's more interesting than Ibarra. Like Ibarra, he was like a good antagonist. All the antagonists have been good so far, but I think Zeno is especially good for being like posing a threat, not in like a physical sense though, but in a sense of like actually he's able to match Senku's intellecting and able to come up with plans on par with Senku's, which I think is really good. And as well as Zeno, you also have Stanley Snyder, who is Zeno's right-hand man. And this guy, like up until this point, we had like strong warriors and stuff. You had Maz, you had Hyoga, you had Tsukasa. In this season, you have Stanley Snyder, who is just military level, like A-class military soldier, that he has access to guns. He has military training. Like this is like a threat that even the strongest warriors that they've went up against up until this point, it's like it's no longer just a physical fight. It's like actual military grade fights that they're having with like dog fights with planes. It's like you actually have machine guns going on, snipers, and it's like, so I think that Stanley Snyder is another great character that brings a lot to the table, which I appreciate. Luna, I think Luna is good. She is, yeah, she's all right. She is just kind of like very much old character, kind of just feels like she's kind of being used by other people. Like she's a spy for Stanley, and then she kind of then after a certain point, her whole thing is that like she likes Senku and she just wants to be with Senku, and so her character is just a bit uninteresting in the sense that it's just kind of, I know she's just kind of either trying to get with Senku or she's being used by Stanley. So I don't remember the next season, I think I don't remember if she does more, but I did, again, I don't remember if I mentioned this, but I saw, after this season, I saw the first half of Science Future Part 2, and I did not finish Science Future Part 2, so hopefully in the second half, maybe we'll see a bit more of her, like, doing some more stuff, but up until this point, like, the only thing she really did was, she acted as a measurement for Stan Lee to use this to snipe Senku, and besides that, she also, she said that she went to medical school, and so she has, like, some medical knowledge that she, I guess, helps to use to keep Senku alive, which I remember she said, like, they were able to figure out that Senku had, like, liquid in his lungs, so, but besides that, I don't remember, like, she was able to check to see if his blood pressure, if it was, like, high or low, based on if it was something about, like, if you're able to press the heart rate hard, or, like, the amount of strength it takes to measure the heart rate, it was, like, meant to measure how badly Senku was injured and stuff. Anyway, the point is, hoping to see a bit more from her next season. Besides Luna, there is Max and Carlos. They're also kind of characters that are just not really, they're just kind of characters that are more so not characters of their own, but more so encompassed by other characters, like specifically Luna, like Max and Carlos. They just kind of are simping for Luna most of the season, and so they're not really, I mean, I guess Carlos specifically, he is a bit more, like, involved with the enemies, specifically, like, he ends up meeting Taiju and stuff, so, but Max, he is, like, they're fine, even Luna's, like, not even a bad character. I think that they're all good characters, it's just, I do wish that they did a bit more. You do have, who else worth mentioning? There is also Brody. Brody is, like, the diplomat that ends, at the end of the season ends with Brody and Nikki. They kind of end up having they establish, like, diplomacy between Japan and America, I guess, to, like, they establish, like, what's called, I'll also preface this by saying I once again did not sleep, so yeah, I haven't slept in, like, how long has it been by now? 25 hours, I think. Wait, I woke up at 8 o'clock last night, 12 hours, okay, so it's been, I don't know, it's been like 17 hours. I haven't slept at this point, so you might hear that I don't know, I'm sounding not as clear as I maybe would otherwise, but yeah, so Brody, he was good. Who else is there? Maya, she is another character. It's kind of weird, like, Zeno does revive, like, a bunch of people that were in the U.S. Army, and then everyone just kind of goes along with him with, like, his plans of, like, I'm assuming he told everyone, like, his plans of just, I don't know, taking over the world, I guess, or whatever. I mean, that's at least what he's expressed to Senku and, like, his Kingdom of Science, as well as, I think, Stanley, so I don't really understand why so many of, like, past American generals are, like, I don't know, like, yeah, fine, there's, like, some corrupt people, but everyone's just fine with, like, Zeno being like, okay, we're going to use science to take over the world, and anyone that opposes us, we're just going to kill. Like, everyone's fine with that, so, I don't know. Yeah, overall, the characters, you do have, like, at this point in the show, there are, like, so many characters. We still have all the characters from the previous seasons that were pretty much everyone is here, except for, I guess, the people that are specifically on either Ishigami Village or Treasure Island, so, and I guess, like, the astronauts, but every single character up until this point that we've been introduced to is still playing a role in the story, which I do very much like. So honestly, I will give the characters a 9 out of 10. I'm going to say that they are incredible just because of how many we have at this point and how much I enjoy all of them. And honestly, like, I'm excited to do the tier list for this anime because I honestly think that there's going to be, like, no F tier character. Like, I think the only character up until this point that I actually spoke negatively about in one of these reviews, I said Mantle, but even so, it's like I realized that he kind of, like, served his purpose, like, fine, I guess, in the role he played. Like, even him, he's not, like, an F tier character. He's just, like, maybe a D tier character at worst. So this show has, like, just so many incredible characters, and all the new additions I really do like, and so yeah, excited to see more of them in the next season. In terms of the settings, you do have a very nice setting. You do have, like, a nice layout of the Perseus, kind of secluded in the forest near a river, and then you have Zeno's kind of kingdom area, which is set up near a lake and some mountains and stuff. I think it is a very, very nice setting. I would give it probably an, I'll go an 8.5. I'll say it was amazing settings. I do like it. Once again, it is still all taking place in the stone world, but now it's, like, kind of taking place in an area which has a lot more, up until this point, like, the most modern amount of technology and science, machinery that we've seen up until this point with Zeno's kingdom. So I think that it is very nice. In terms of the art style, I think the art style, I'm just going to go with another solid 8.5, amazing art style as usual. Nothing really to speak about it on that front because just, yeah, the art style doesn't really change from season to season still. So in terms of the, by the way, I forgot to write this down, but the introduction, the opening, this is, I think, possibly my favorite opening for a Dr. Stone season. This was the one that initially, when I first watched the show, this was like the only opening that I actually cared to listen to in its entirety and add to my Spotify playlist, and I still love this one. Casanova Posse is just a great opening song. Very nice, very very cool visuals as well. It's like very Vegas, like I guess you get like a Vegas vibe to the whole thing. And the ending, Rolling Stone, I think is also a banger ending, and so definitely props to the intros and outros for this season. Definitely, yep. In terms of the action, there is cool action. You have some dogfights with some planes. This one has like guns, actually, like not just the pistol that Yo was using up until this point, but you actually have machine guns being fired, snipers being used. I think all of it is, I would say, great action. I would give it an 8 out of 10. I really liked it. Not as much like one-on-one combat fights, though. There's like some, like you do have Matsukaze. He uses his techniques, as well as Maz like uses the technique that Hyoga taught him in order to stop some guards. But besides that, it's like there isn't as much action as I guess I kind of would like to have seen, but even so, it's like the action that we do get is still like great. I would say so, 8 out of 10. In terms of the comedy, I was wondering if like I should keep rating this as a comedy, because comedy is really not like the central focus of the show. So it feels a bit like even if the comedy is a positive score, it feels like it's, if anything, it's kind of like lowering the score of the final results. So I don't really know if I should keep adding the comedy score for these, but I mean, I've done it up until this point, and this is like the second to last review before we get to the this is the second to last review before we get to the newest season, and then there's like I think the season after, which isn't out yet. So I'll just keep rating the comedy. I guess it's like I don't know, a 7 out of 10, pretty good. Nothing like too much that makes me laugh out loud, but still very very entertaining and a lot of good lines here and there. So I guess this season specifically, because there was a bit more stuff going on, I didn't notice the comedy as much as maybe I did in previous seasons, but. Yeah, even so, I'm still wondering if I should even rate the comedy, because it's really not the focus of the show, but it is still like good where it is. So pretty good, I would say. In terms of the science aspects, I would say that the science aspects I would give a solid 8 out of 10. It's just, once again, at this point in the show, it's not like season one. Season one had a very heavy emphasis on the science stuff, and at this point, it is, ever since we had like the whole New World, ever since like New World, aka season 3. Where you actually had Senku's and the gang against Ibarra. It's like it's no longer specifically just focused on science, and there is also a lot more of an emphasis on the war tactics that they use and stuff, which is fine, because I love the war tactics. I think that it is great, and so I should have actually rated the I'm gonna change the score for action, because it's supposed to be action/tactics. So I'm going to actually change it from an 8 all the way to I'm gonna give it a 9. Honestly, like I thought that the tactics this season were incredible. I really liked the plans that they would come up with. The ending with the stalemate of Tetsukasa, like basically the warrior gang, like the warriors, the fighter squad, basically, whatever they called it in the show, the fighter squad, they end up, like, no, you think all hope is lost, like Senku gets shot down with Ryusui, they realize that they were tricked, Stanley is on the ship, they've taken over the Perseus, everyone's captured and stuff, but then right at that moment when you think like all hope is lost, you realize that no, wait, while that was happening, Tetsukasa, Hyoga, Ukyo, Gen, Kohaku, like they all captured Zeno at the same time, so it becomes like a stalemate, like, oh, this is, it's like it's not just checkmate. It's like both sides have like an edge on the other. So I thought that was a great tactics being used. Great overall, just love the action, love the tactics that they use still, and so definitely a 9 out of 10 for that. But yeah, I was saying the science aspects. It's great. It's still like I like it a lot. It's still very interesting and stuff. It's just there's a lot less this season compared to what there was earlier on in the show's lifespan. So in terms of the worst thing. I don't have a worst thing, honestly. Like, I really think that everything is great. I think maybe, like, just Luna stuff, they focus a bit too much on Luna. And, like, I still think Luna is a good character. It's just for what she actually does, which is, like, basically just kind of, I don't know. She's constantly just saying, like, oh, I'm a strong, capable woman. And just the entire time, she's kind of, like, being used by Stanley. And if she's not being used by Stanley, she's just kind of fawning over Senku. So her character is just a bit, like, I don't know. I wish it was a bit not just focused on those two things. So I'll say she was probably the worst part of the season, but even so, it's like I still think that she's a good addition. It's like I don't hate her by any means. So I'll give her like I'll go like a 7 out of 10. I'll be generous. I'll say that she was pretty good, even if like I did kind of wish that she did a bit more. I would say it's not even that I wish she did a bit more. It's just that I wish, like, I don't know, she for the amount of emphasis that they put on her this season, I just wish that we got a bit more out of her. So yeah. In terms of the best thing, I am going to just give another 9 out of 10 for the action/tactics and the characters. I do think that, yeah, once again, the action and tactics that they use, as well as the characters that we have up until this point, they are both incredible, and so another 9 out of 10 for that. And extra notes, I normally don't write extra notes, but because for this review and the last one I did, just because I'm not recording it at the time that I finished, like it's a few hours after I finished watching it, but for reasons I couldn't record it immediately after. So I did, for myself, I was like, okay, I'll write some just extra notes like after I immediately finished watching it, just to like make sure I don't forget certain thoughts. So, but I already spoke about the stalemate. I did like the stalemate that they had where Senku managed to capture Zeno. Zeno managed to capture all the people on the Perseus, and by Zeno I mean like his pawns, not pawns, but like his the people that work for him basically. So, and I did say that there is a lot going on this season. There is like a lot of different factions and doing a lot of different things, but it's still like it's all like it never gets like too overwhelming. It's like there's no point where I think like, oh, this is like too much going on. It's like it's a lot going on, but it's fine. It's still like I enjoy all the stuff that's going on. So yeah, I'll say there is like a bit less emphasis on like, because there are so much stuff going on. Some factions have a bit less time than some others, like Chrome and Kohaku. It's like for a while they just kind of disappear, and Gen as well. Like he's also like he's with Zeno for a lot of the season. So because of that, he is not. They're kind of like split up, separated. Which up until this point, we had moments where it's like characters were separated from each other, but this feels like the most like that we've had up until this point. But even so, it like doesn't ruin it. It's just something pointing out, I would say. So I am going, yeah, that is all the extra notes, so I'm going to do the calculations. So King Crimson. All right, so it ends up coming out to about an 8 out of 10, which would be great, but I would give it higher than that. I think I would give it probably an 8.5. I thought that it was amazing, just another amazing season, I would say. Solid 8.5, and yeah, very excited to rewatch the first half of Science Future Part 1, and then watch the, I think it was like and there was like the last 5 episodes I didn't get to see, because that was around the time that I started the channel, and so I was like, okay, instead of just finishing it, I'll just like wait until I end up rewatching it, so that way it just saves me more time. So yeah, I am excited to half rewatch, half finish watching the rest of part 2 for the season, and yeah, then by then we'll do the character ranking, and so that'll be fun. I'll get to talk about all these really, really great characters, and yeah, then eventually when the newest season, when Science Future Part 3 comes out, we will get to that, and that'll be a fun time, so look forward to that. And yeah, but that is pretty much all there is to it. So if you have any recommendations, any shows, movies, video game stories, anime, web series, manga, anything that you want me to review, leave it in the comments and I will maybe possibly check it out. But with that said, that is pretty much all there is to it, so let's leave it at that.